Hello model railroaders, my name's Dave, welcome to the layout. This video I want to talk about bus wiring. I recently helped a friend out a couple weeks ago sort out his bus wiring, so I thought that would be a good topic to add. And part of helping him out was he was having some issues and we ended up having to trace down his leads down to his bus wiring to make sure everything was working right. So one of the things that we did, because he had a couple auto reversing loops, was to do something like the post-it note I've got in front of me, where we mark one line red, one line black, and the direction of travel. And in this case, this is how I decided to do it when I started my bus wiring, was that I was going to have the black lead on the left and the red on the right. And now I am running the Digitrax, and as a reminder, you don't connect your bus wires up in a loop. Make sure you terminate both ends with the moret or however you want to terminate them, but don't chain them up. Now on my layout, because everything's in 4-foot sections, I have removable track at the joints of each module. So I'm using a 5-inch Atlas straight track as my to span my joint edges. So that kind of leaves me with a 4-foot section in the middle where I've got to drop my leads. Now I may predominantly in the yard I'll make sure that I'm running at least the 2 points on the switches to make sure that everything's powered, that at least I'm powering. So I've got 2 leads here and no leads dropping down here, but I do have 2 leads here and 2 leads here dropping down. So that ensures that the switch is getting power from all 3 sides. And then I have my yard isolated out using the insulator joiners just to keep that on a separate district, is the terminology I've come to know. So as long as you make sure that when you're dropping your leads that you know what your direction of travel is, and you drop the black down and your red down on the proper sides, you shouldn't have any issues when you go to connect everything up to the bus lines. So let's dive under the layout and take a look here. So as you can see, there's this automotive light bulb hanging under my layout. Now that is something that, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce his name, Joe Fugate had in his instructional videos, and there's a YouTube video on the Model Railroad Hobbyist website, which I'll try and sort out how to put a link in below that you can see it firsthand. But after looking into it, that's what I decided to do, was just take the black lead and jump that over to a second set of bus lines. So back here, that's my primary bus line, and then my district for my yard actually separates out. And I did that again on the quarry yard. So that way, if a loco runs through the points on a turnout, that it doesn't take down everything on the main line. And it actually does work. I've tried it out, and I have had no issues with it. It pulls a couple volts through the light bulb to light it up when there is a fault, and it doesn't take down the base station. It doesn't recognize that as a fault. So for me, I predominantly solder all of my leads to my bus line. It's a little hard to frame everything in the video, but hopefully you can trace some wiring back down. So there's not really a whole lot to say. It's been talked about, of course, on various other videos, but just so that everybody knows what I'm doing, and if there's any questions, you can throw that in the comment section, and I'll try and answer you. And thank you for those who have commented on my previous videos. I know I've not responded to any comments, but you know, thank you for saying kind words. So as an example, I'm going to put this little steel cutter across my yard track, and I got the cleaning car running around. So that's bridging. The cleaning car, there it comes. So that's my main line. Now, oh, that didn't bridge. Well, isn't that a good thing? There we go. I just had to put some pressure on it. So the light bulb is on, so that means the yard is down. The cleaning car is still making its round. So as soon as I remove the fault, the automotive light goes out. So I find it works well. And if you add a new section on and it's through that, using the light bulb as the breaker, then it works well. And that's just using, in my case, I just got them cheap from Princess Auto. You can get them from Walmart or any automotive store. They're the 1156 12-volt automotive bulbs. And that's all it is. Pretty straightforward. I just wrapped mine with Kapton tape. In my case, for the joiners, what I'm using, joining my bus lines from module to module, are 12-position terminal block, and that will handle 12 to 22 American wire gauge, and they're rated for 10 amp 300 volts. So with what we're putting through on our DCC system, so it's just that kind of connector. Now what I do, I actually cut with the zircon saw just to leave me 2 terminal blocks, and then depending on what wiring I'm running, I'll just use a marker on them, right there, and just mark them in black or in red, or in the case of my bus line for my tortoises, you know, blue, and I'll leave that one black. That way I know what wire goes on what, and there's no confusion on what wire needs to go where. So there's another good example of a little more heavily coated with the marker on that one. And then for me, I just use cable mount. They're sticky back, but I go ahead and put a screw through them just to help support, and then just use the zip tie to hold the wire down. That gives me some flexibility. I can pull slack where I need it. And well, that's about it. Hope somebody finds that little bit of condensed information helpful. Talk to you later.